Hey guys, welcome to the Love America Hate Taxes podcast. I'm Ryan. I'm here with Don. And today we're going to be talking about the repeal of the green energy tax credits.
Yeah, so everyone probably heard of this acronym IRA. So there's different IRAs out there. We have, individual retirement accounts, but this one's called the Inflation Reduction Act. So that was the last tax legislation that came about, and that was under the Biden administration. So of course, Mr. Trump is in office now, and of course, the House is actually this actually come from the House Ways and Means Committee, Ryan. So they're putting together their plan on reducing taxes, but anytime they're reducing taxes, they've got to create revenue to offset that. That's actually what's required anytime you do type legislation to show that there's going to be revenue created to offset the tax. So one of the big ones, of course, and you probably heard it in the campaign, was the very expensive green energy tax credits. And matter of fact, at a tune of almost $800 billion. Now,
With a B.
with a B, big B, a big B. Yeah,
Yeah.
I won't start rapping here in a second,
Yeah.
but 329 billion of that was actually for the credits for you to go out there and buy a Tesla or some other type of EV, something to that degree. The rest of it came from, which I thought that was interesting, tailpipe emission rule designed to increase the uptake of EVs dramatically. Wow,
Mm,
that's almost 500 billion of that was just
just
for
for that.
that.
Wow, that's insane. It's really forcing out the gas vehicles out of there, making it hard for them to stay on the roads.
Well, what was it in
So,
California that
yeah.
they said after a certain year, they're banning sale of gas-generated vehicles.
Yeah. And I wonder how that's going to work now.
So yeah,
With
it's
everything.
interesting. Yeah, so that's a $800 billion savings. So they're created over a 10-year period. What they look at 10-year windows anytime they do this, but 10 years are going to save about $800 billion. Now, you have people who talk about the CBO, Congressional Budget Office, who come out with these numbers, but that's the numbers that are given, whether they're accurate or not. But $800 billion, that's quite the savings.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Almost as better as Doge.
I was about to say, I bought somebody a good Christmas present, that's for sure.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so some of these things in these green energy credits, kind of just going back off of that. So it was things like clean energy vehicles, clean energy itself, energy efficient buildings and home, carbon emissions, sustainable aviation fuels, environmental justice, uh, whatever that is, biofuels, and more. So it did have like a couple things with it, but the bulk of it went towards that emissions.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And just talk about emissions. This is a little funny, but I actually have a friend whose son builds these big containers. And the whole idea was to take these out to these farms, these ranches that have a bunch of cattle, you know, and to catch all the gas,
All the methane.
see all the methane and then to pipe it. That's really what it was all about. And so that sounds like an interesting feat. I don't know how exactly that would be structured, but that was a big portion of this here. Matter of fact, his his son made a comment. He said, "Listen, there is so much money in this biofuel stuff of capturing these gases and creating that methane. Maybe there's some legitimacy, Ryan,
Yep.
but I don't know. That seems like a far-fetched." Now, one thing we didn't talk about that there's not any CBO number here because that's unknown. But one of the things with the EV cars out there is they use the same roads that we do, and
Mm.
we pay gas, whether it's unleaded or diesel, whatever the case is. Inside there, there's a federal tax inside our gas, and so that's to help service the
The
road.
roads, yeah.
So what they're saying is that EVs are not having to pay that because they're not buying gas.
Yeah.
So now they're gonna charge some type of tax or a fee for EVs, so that way they're actually covering some of the roads, which makes
Clean.
sense,
Yeah.
fair.
They don't use gas, they still have rubber on their tires.
That yeah. Yes, and they're gonna make potholes and everything else that goes along with it, so
Exactly. Well, that's interesting. And, I've done my part to, lower the methane. I ate plenty of beef. I ate plenty of steak. I ate plenty of beef to make sure I lower that methane
I'm so glad to hear that.
footprint here in the US.
Yeah,
So I've done my part just
so we're glad that
yeah,
you're doing that too.
so absolutely.
Uh,
Guys, thank you so much for joining us for today's podcast. Again, it's Love America, Hate Taxes. If this is some good information that you like to hear, share it with a friend, family member, whatever you can to get spread the word. We want to help you and business owners like you keep more of the hard-earned money that you made. So subscribe, like, comment, whatever you want to do. Reach out to us as well. Anything else, Don?
no, I think that's pretty much it. Just if you have an EV, just know there's gonna be probably some changes in the tax code to impact you, so
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys.
thanks.